So as I say, we have two sides to our business. One side is retailing and one side is team building, otherwise known as sponsoring. And we have a very simple to follow system which has been in place for the last 36 years. What's come about more recently is people using Facebook a huge amount as a sponsoring tool. Now, in my personal opinion, it's used both well and badly. So what I'd like to do is share some information tonight about how I think you can use it well. Okay. Right, okay, so when you're sponsoring, you're looking at team building and getting team members into your own team. So one of the most important parts is using your warm list. So your warm list consists of everybody that you know. So you literally empty your database of everybody that you can think of that you know and write them on a list. And you'll find a list either on the Dropbox for our team or in your First Steps to Manager. Don't make the assumption of people that you think will join your team. It's a list of absolutely everybody that you know, not just people that you think will join. Okay, so a great way to think of this is if you were going to have a massive party and just invite everybody that you know. You don't have to contact all those people straight away. Everybody has what we know as a chicken list of people that you don't want to contact, but you just need a database as a starting place for your business. So write your who do you know list, and then from there you quite simply follow the business cycle. So at the top of the cycle there is who do you know. So you write a list of absolutely everybody that you've ever come into contact with, so people that you used to work with, people that you went to school with, people that you work with currently, friends, people from clubs, absolutely everybody that you can think of. And then from there you quite simply send them a message or ring them and ask them to meet you for a coffee so you can give them some more information about the business. The most important thing about doing that is to make sure that you ask for their help. People will always help you. So send them a message quite simply saying, I've started a new business, I'd really like your help. Can I show you some information? I'm not expecting you to join, I'm not expecting you to buy loads of products, I just want to spread the word of mouth, so would you take a look? From there you have what we call one-to-one, which is where you follow the presentation. Again, that's on the team page. If you need any help with that, then shout. You follow the complete presentation that's been put together by Forever, and that's the best possible way to show them the business, because that gives them the entire overview of the business, rather than you sitting down for a coffee with them, trying to have a chat with them, and you maybe miss the bit that's most important to them. So the analogy that I give to this is for you to say to somebody, when you're inviting them for a coffee, to try and give them the entire information about a film over the phone. You don't want to do that, you just want to invite them to come to the cinema with you. And with the one-to-one, you don't tell them the plot of the film without having the film in front of you, and that's exactly the same with a one-to-one. You can't make it up as you go along just over a cup of coffee. They need to see that it's professional, so they need to see the presentation in front of them. So that's the side there on the one-to-one. At the bottom is the business presentation. So if you have a one-to-one with somebody, at the end they'll say no, maybe, or yes. If they're a maybe and they want some more information, then you invite them along to business presentation. So in Essex we have business presentation every Monday night, so every other Monday night, so it's next Monday at 7:45 at Pontins Park. If you can't make that for any reason, or they can't make that, then there is an online business presentation. And that is set up really to bring people to a close, to give them much more information and to get them to a point where they will make a decision about whether they're joining your business or not. And then from there, the people that join, you then have their first planning meeting with them. So if you're serious about building your business, you should be contacting between 2 and 5 people a day. If you find that you haven't got enough people to contact, then this is what this call is about tonight. It's about building your warm list. If you find that people are saying no to you, as in they're not meeting you for a one-to-one, then go either to your upline or to myself, get us to check your message, because it might be that you've just put 1 or 2 words in there that need tweaking, that maybe aren't getting the correct response to you. If you're doing loads and loads of one-to-ones, but people aren't joining or aren't coming to a business presentation, then again, we need to have a look at your one-to-one and find out if you're creating enough urgency and if you're presenting it in 100% the best way. So that's one of the reasons that we ask people to fill in activity points, because if we can look at the activity you've been doing and you're not getting the results that you want, we can then break it down and go back through it and go, well, actually, you haven't got enough people on your warm list. That's why you aren't getting the one-to-ones you want, or there's something to do with the way you're asking people for a one-to-one that is just putting them off. So that's one of the main reasons that we ask you to fill out the activity points. Okay, so what do you do if your warm list is running dry? Now, most people have around 250 different contacts, so it's just a case of unlocking your memory. So we all went to school with people, hopefully. We've all worked with people in past environments. We all know people now, so you might not necessarily know their phone number, you might not necessarily know their surname, but you know people. So, for example, the guy that serves you every day in the paper shop is a warm contact. People that you talk to regularly are a warm contact. You don't necessarily have to know their name. So in your First Steps to Manager book, you have this page, which is your memory jogger. So just check who you've got on your warm list and go through. So have you got all your relatives on there? Have you got all your other half relatives on there? And then there's also some other activities. There's another memory jogger in there that just lists professions, and that's a really good idea. So, for example, there's a hairdresser's on there. So is your hairdresser on your warm list? They should be. And your current hairdresser, but also the last person that cut your hair, the person that cuts your children's hair, that kind of thing. So really, really have a good long think about absolutely everybody that you know. Now, it says steam here and frogs. Okay, so steam is an activity that you use. So when you're working on adding people to your warm list, who do you know? We'll do steams first. So who do you know that works in sales? So sales is a great profession for us, really, although none of us are salespeople. They're normally quite outgoing and got, you know, a good solid database of people that they know. So who do you know that works in sales? Has anybody ever tried to sell you anything? So what about people that have tried to sell you double glazing in the past, or people that maybe came round to look at your kitchen? Have you still got their phone numbers? Add them to your warm list. T is for teaching. So teachers, so anybody that you know now that works as a teacher, anybody that is your child's teacher, are they on your warm list? So even if you only know people by their first name, or in that case it might just be by their last name, what about your old teachers? So who taught you when you were at school? They'll still be around, they're probably near retirement age now, so they may well be looking for something else. E is enthusiastic. So who are the most enthusiastic people that you know? So we want people in our business that are outgoing, that are fun, that are positive. So who are the most enthusiastic people you know? Make sure they're on your warm list. M is for money. So who do you know that has either got a lot of money, talks a lot about money, or talks about a lot about needing money? So have a think about all those people that you might meet. Again, you might only know them by first name, so you might go to a club and you might find that there's people there that are saying, I want to go to Florida but I can't afford it, that kind of thing. So they're the kind of people that you want to add to your warm list. A is for attitude. So who do you know that's got a fantastic attitude? So have a think about the most ideal person to join your business, who you would most like. So if you could profile somebody, you'd want them to be positive, you want them to be hardworking, you want them to be really, really motivated. So you want somebody with a better attitude than yourself. So you want somebody that constantly has a can-do attitude. So have a think about people that you know like that. So it might be people that have taught you a fitness class in the past, people that have served you in a shop. These are all people that you can go and find. So there's a lady that I know that used to work in a shop. She's the most smiley person I've ever met. She now does gardening, and I've seen her at a particular venue a couple of times. So I'm going to go back to that venue and see if she's there again, because I want to have a chat with her. So if you don't know people's names and numbers, don't let that put you off. If they work in a restaurant, go to the restaurant. If they work in a coffee shop, go to the coffee shop. Okay? Now, frogs. So think of one person on your warm list, and then you think of, right, so you think of their name. So, for example, I'll think of Angela. So who are Angela's friends, and have I got all of those on my warm list? So second is relatives. So which of Angela's relatives do I know, and are they all in my warm list? Occupation. So what does Angela do for a living? Angela works at Marks and Spencer's. So who else do I know that works in retail, that works in Marks and Spencer's? And add those to my warm list. Geographical. So Angela lives in Bickmaker, same as me. So who else lives in Bickmaker, and have I got all of them on my warm list? And, oh no, S is similar. Okay, so S is for similar. So what kind of things does Angela do that other people might do? Okay, so one thing I know is that Angela's got cats. So who else do I know that's got cats? Okay, so it's just a way of unlocking your memory, because apparently all of us know 250 people, which should mean that we've got 250 people on our warm list. If you haven't got that many, then maybe you just need a bit of help unlocking people on your warm list. Okay, so social media. As I said in the beginning, social media can be a very, very helpful tool, but it also can be used very, very badly. Okay, so if I just start off negatively, as I know I shouldn't, but badly is constantly spamming adverts. So if you post adverts to every single group that you belong to, and on your own wall constantly asking people to join your business, what message are you projecting? Because at the end of the day, people look at Facebook or other social media because they want to know what you're like. If you're constantly asking people to join your business, then does that then look like people won't join your business naturally? Are you looking desperate? And do people want to read that? So everybody posts from time to time, but it's how often you think you should be doing that. And when you're interacting with other groups, there's much better ways of doing it. Okay, so social media is social networking. So it's another form of networking, and it's a way of expanding your warm list. It's not a way of spamming people. Okay, so there's an option on there to find friends. So me personally, I want to add at least 2 to 5 people to my Facebook list every day. Okay, so by that way, I'm expanding my warm list by 2 to 5 people every day. Okay, so if you go to the Find Friends page, so if you go literally on Facebook, go to the Help button, and then just type in Find Friends, it comes up with the Find Friends option. Okay, so as you see on the little picture there, one of the first things you do is you can add people through your personal contacts. So if you type in your email details in there, you will find that people will, you can send people friends requests straight away. Okay, so type your email address in there. It'll come up with a big long list of people that you know on Facebook, that are already on Facebook using your email address, and then from there you can add them. Now, my best word of warning is to only add a few per day. Okay, if you add a huge amount of friends every day in one day, Facebook will block you because they'll think you're spamming. Okay, so if I was you, I'd go down the list and just add a few per day, because like everything with this business, it's about consistency. So if you have it in your head to add 5 contacts per day, it's a really good number. And then you can also, as it says at the bottom there, make a note of who you've added, okay? Because you need to add them to your warm list for your business. Okay, so go through and add personal contacts. The other thing that Facebook does, because it makes it really easy for you, is it comes up with suggested friends. So if you add people, it will then suggest other people. And this is a really great way to find old school friends, old contacts, because if you add one school friend that you maybe stay in touch with, if they're friends with other school friends, it'll add them as well. Okay, but as I say, only 2 to 3 a day. So my advice would be, before you start adding new people to Facebook, would be to download your Facebook contacts first. So what I've done is I've downloaded all my Facebook contacts. So I've got around 1,500 contacts now. So I've downloaded those, I've printed them off, and then from there, when people accept my friend's request, I then jot them down at the end of that list. Okay, so I'm not going to message people straight away. I'm just going to add them to my warm list, and then I might message them in the next week to 2 weeks. Okay. Now, the other thing you need to do is become really, really active on Facebook. So if you're one of these people that watch people but don't comment, then people aren't going to necessarily interact with you. So if you've got people in mind that you would ideally love to join your business, and you know that you're going to contact them and send them a message over the next couple of weeks asking for their help, start interacting with them now. Or if you've had one-to-ones with people that were really good and you want those people to join your business, interact with them now. Because if you interact with them, it just prompts them. So sometimes I've sent messages to people, they haven't necessarily answered the message there and then, but then when I've liked their post or made a comment on their post, they then send a message apologising for not having answered, completely forgot about it. Oh, I'd love to meet up with you. So it's a great way of keeping in touch with your friends. And for me, a lot simpler than texting them or ringing them. So you can just make a little comment on their photo or something like that, and then they're more likely to do that for you as well. Okay, so that's Facebook with your personal page. So make sure that your posts that you put on are interesting. There's some huge no-nos, so don't post that you're broke. Nobody's going to join your business if you're broke. Don't post that you're ill, because our products keep you well. So you don't really want to be putting on there that you're ill, that you're tired, that you're unfit, that you're overweight. So again, just think about the way you're inspiring people and what people read from your posts. So if you want people to buy a C9 from you, they're not going to react very well to you posting, oh, my muffin's come back and I don't like it. So think about what you're actually posting and make sure that your posts are always inspiring and interesting. Have a think about, well, what social posts you put on there, because you might find some people are post on there that they're drinking, some people don't. So have a think about your values and have a think about how you want people to describe you. So I'll post on there when I'm drinking champagne at head office, but I don't post on there when I'm absolutely legless on a Saturday night, because for me that's not what I'm about, and I don't do that. But you will see some people that do post on there quite regularly how drunk they are. That doesn't sit very well with me, because I'm in a health and nutrition business. So have a little think about what kind of images you want to portray to people. And remember that even if people aren't liking your post, they're looking. And I've often had people contact me that want more information about the business that I've never spoken to. So these people are watching. So have a little think about what you're posting. A really great way to expand your warm list is to join interest groups. So if you're a local mum, that's great. Join one local group and interact really well with that group. Don't join every group on Facebook and spam them with adverts. Doesn't work. Just join one group and interact. Have a think about what interests you've got. So do you like gardening? Do you like cooking? Do you like French wine? And look for those groups. So I've joined teenager groups because I've got a teenage son. Did join tarantula groups. Have nothing in common with those people, but I did try. So anything like that where you want to go on holiday, there's groups for absolutely everything on Facebook. And if you can't find a group to fit in with what you want, then make your own group up and then just add people to it. Okay, so local groups, particularly if you just join a group like I've joined Chelmsford Mummies, there's always people on there that ask questions. So even if you just joined a group that was like Witton Town or Chelmsford Town or something like that, when somebody asks a question, you can respond, and then you can post questions on there, and when they respond, add them as a friend, because they're already chatting to you, and most people will like that. So it's just another way of adding to your warm list, and if you can find people with similar interests to you, you're going to get on well with them. So I think I've got, as I said, I think I've got about 1,500 friends on Facebook now. And for me, I have almost a never-ending warm list now, because I add 5 people a day. I contact 8 people a day. So really I need to up the amount of people that I'm adding. But by doing it that way, my warm list is never running short. And also, when people accept my friends request, I never ever message them straight away. I only message them when I get to that page on my warm list. Because otherwise, if you add an old school friend and the first message you send them is, would you like some information about my forever business, is a bit off-putting. Whereas if you add them to your warm list and then message them 2 to 3 weeks later, and by then you've interacted a bit with them with their Facebook posts, I think it's better received. Okay, so these are really my top tips. Remember, it's networking, so interact with people, socialise with them. If you're going to post about your business, that's fine, but have a think about how often you're doing it and whether you're actually adding value or whether you're literally just posting an advert. Okay? It is social networking, so socialise with it, chat with it, ask people the best place to go for lunch, ask people the best restaurants to go out for dinner. So put questions on there where people will interact with you, and then make a note of who's interacting, because those people are friendlier. And whatever you do, be consistent. So if you're going to start building your warm list and using Facebook as a way of moving your business forward, you can't go on Facebook one day and then don't go on it again for a week. You need to be liking people's photos every day, liking their posts every day, commenting. And remember, whenever you comment on somebody's post, all their friends can see that as well. So you really are expanding the amount of people that see your profile. So one of the things I should have added actually is to make sure your profile says your business. So obviously you can put on your profile where you work. So the best thing is to have Forever Living products on there. Because, for example, if you post on your best friend's photo, somebody else has a look at who you are, you want them to be able to see where you work. So my work, as it was, links to my Facebook business page. So people can actually follow who I am straight away. Oh, a question, hold on. Okay, so business page. My best advice with a business page is don't set up a business page unless you know you're going to have the time to update it every day. If you know realistically you're not going to have the time to put a post on every day, then just stick to your personal page. Don't complicate it. Okay, because if you have a business page that you haven't updated for a week or 10 days, it's not worth having it. So have a really good think about how much time you've got, how often you go onto Facebook. So for me, it's on my phone. If I'm waiting for somebody to turn up for an appointment, I'm automatically on Facebook. So it's no hassle at all for me to post on Facebook all the time. But you do have to go into it knowing that you're going to post relevant posts every day, so at least once a day. Otherwise, people aren't going to see your page, and then you're just diluting by posting on two different things. So business pages are quite easy to set up. Again, if you type in the help, it will tell you how to set up a business page. So I've had this business page probably for about 18 months. I've got 1,589 likes. I get probably 1 or 2 messages a day from people wanting more information about my business because of this page. What you have to remember is that not everyone that inquires is going to be English, because obviously Facebook is worldwide. And although Forever's in 158 countries worldwide, my language is not brilliant in all of them. So I do get some inquiries that I can't respond to because I can't read them. But on saying that, it's well worth it, because as I said in my original post, 7 people that have joined my business, that 7 out of the last 10 that have joined my business have come from Facebook. So the way I use my business page is another way of filtering people through to my personal profile. So I've set up the business page. You can then invite your friends and your email contacts to like your page. So as you see there, on the top right hand side of your business page, you click on invite friends, and you literally just go down the list and click invite, 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 invite. Okay. You can also invite your email contacts with a similar way. You type your email address and password in, and it sends an invitation to them all. I did that in the very beginning. When I add new friends, I add them as well. What you have to remember is people don't see your business posts unless they regularly interact with it. So if I look at my business page, although I've got 1,500 likes, unless I probably get about 20 people viewing it, unless people like it. So when people like my post, I then double the amount of people that see it, and then somebody else likes it, it then triples it. But Facebook's made it extremely hard for people to see your posts now. So that's why you need to post on it consistently every day, because you might think, well, actually every day is too much, but actually people don't see your posts. So even if you did it 3 times a day, chances are your friends wouldn't see it that regularly anyway. So as with everything else, you're trying to get people to interact with you. So the more interesting you can make the posts, or if you ask for a response. So even if you put a quiz question on that's got absolutely nothing to do with Forever, it makes people respond, and then that makes that show up in the Facebook feed for other people. Okay, so you can promote your posts, which is something that I have done. You can do it on a very, very low budget. So you set, as you see, like middle on the right hand side there, you set your budget of how much you want to spend. I also always do it for people who like your page and their friends. So if you see the 3 tick buttons there, If you target your audience to people that have already liked your page, to me that kind of really limits it. But then if you do people through targeting, that's cold market. Whereas we've all seen sponsored ads appear on your newsfeed and it says who's already liked them. So sometimes people will like my page and inquire about an advert and they're a friend of a friend, so that then when I talk to them, I can say, oh, you're a friend of so-and-so, I've known them for so long through etc. And it just makes it a bit more of a warm contact. If they know who you know, it just kind of, it makes it out that you're not kind of some weirdo or whatever. It kind of makes them feel like they actually know you a bit better. Obviously, this completely depends on what your budget's like. For me, it's a very small amount, and it does promote awareness, and it does get me team members. But as I said at the very beginning, the Facebook business pages are only good if you're willing to put the effort in to actually post on there regularly. So I've got a Facebook business post page that is for my products, and I've got a separate one that is for my recruitment. And I do it that way specifically, whereas I know a lot of other people will put the two on the same page. Again, it's completely what fits with you. So for me, I promote this page as a page about success and about people's goals and dreams. And for me, I don't want to put products on the same page, but a lot of people will do. So it's completely up to you what you do. But so that's about it for this evening. So in summary, 100% definitely always start with your warm list. They are the people that know you. So it might be your best friend, it might be your sister, it might be your brother, or it might just be the person that's seen you every day in the dry cleaners or once a week in the dry cleaners for the last 3 years. Whichever way, they know you and they already have some sort of trust for you. So it is very much based on know, like, trust, and people won't join your business until they trust you. So if you do cold market with people that you've never met before on Facebook, through going through adverts on different groups and that kind of thing, it is a lot harder because you have to build the relationship with them first before they join. Okay, post consistently to Facebook every day. And be very interactive. So share other people's posts, like other people's posts, comment on other people's posts. There's some really good stuff out there. There's a lot of people that do a huge amount for charity, so share their posts. Have a think about what's your values and what you want to promote on your page, and have a serious think about what you don't want to promote on your page. Remember that people are always watching. So engage, don't spam. I've unfollowed people in my own team because they spam so much on Facebook. It just annoys me. So make sure that you're giving value as opposed to just placing an advert. Add loads of people to your warm list. The more people you have on your warm list, the more confident you will feel. Because if you've got an extremely long warm list, you'll feel like you're never going to run out of people. And you won't. I don't know how many people there are in the UK, but it certainly is going to take us a long time to get round them all. So just keep adding people all the time. And make sure that you're building a profile to yourself, for yourself, that other people will want to engage with, other people will want to join. So we're a lifestyle business, so make sure you're portraying our lifestyle that we have. And yeah, it's the best advice I can give you. When people come to you and say that they want to join your business, it's the best feeling in the world. When you message somebody and they come back and go, great, I'll meet you, and then they join your business, that's fantastic. But when they actually come to you because they've kind of sought you out, seeked you out, is that the word? Then that's an even better feeling. Okay, so if you've got any questions, type them in. Darren's just asked, are people in Herbalife good contacts to try and bring into your team? I've got lots of contacts on my warm list that come from different businesses. I would always be very, very tactful, and I would always message them, ask them how much they like their business, how they're getting on with their business, and just start a conversation with them. Never assume that what you're doing is better than what they're doing. We might feel like that, but they might not. And, you know, I've had people message me to ask me to join other companies. I'd never dream of it because I absolutely love what I do. But if people contact me to ask me how I'm getting on, that's a completely different thing. I will get into conversation with them. So if you know people that have other businesses, just ask them how they're getting on. Are they enjoying it? And then if they sound like they're not, or if they give you any reason to think they're struggling, then ask them if they want to take a look at what you're doing. But ask them why. So something like Herbalife, in my opinion, is very, very limited because they're only doing weight loss. So once somebody's lost their weight, where do you go from there? And we have products from sort of 6 months right through to the elderly. Again, I don't think necessarily that Herbalife fits with that. So they've got a very limited target audience. So there are a lot of people that struggle, but don't go in with why are you doing that, you should be doing this instead. Always go in with how you're getting on with it, because I think it's much more respectful. And don't get me wrong, there's people out there that are making a huge success of Herbalife and many other different companies that wouldn't dream of changing. But it's certainly worth a try. If they're on your warm list, engage them with conversation. So any other questions before I sign off tonight? Joe's asked about points. There's a points conversation on the Sally Hargraves team page. If you want to type your points on there, Joe, that would be great. So if there's no other questions, I will leave you all for this evening. Thank you all very much for giving up your time to come on the call tonight. I appreciate it. And I'm available at different points tomorrow. If you have got any questions, then just give me a call. Thank you very much. Have I changed my name? I might have done, Joe. I will let you know that in a private message.